Many social media puzzlers love sharing with their viewers their puzzle hauls, and they are so much fun to watch. But today, I'm doing the complete opposite. I'm sharing with you all those puzzles that I'm willing to let go. Hi, I'm Sandra, the Puzzling Canadian, and welcome to my channel. Well, this past weekend, I caught some spring cleaning fever and had the urge to do some purging around the house. And one of the areas that I wanted to tackle, and it was actually the first area that I tackled, was my puzzle pile. I have been puzzling for quite some time now. And if you have seen one of my previous videos back in January, I set some goals for myself. And one of them was to reduce this puzzle pile. At the beginning of the year, I counted my puzzles. I had over 235 puzzles. And there are puzzles in there that I've had for quite some time, and I have not worked on them. I've passed over them. And it's because I have lost interest in those puzzles for whatever reasons. There's probably other puzzles that I'm more interested in, and I no longer like those images. Maybe I no longer like those brands. So I decided it's time to clear some of those puzzles out, find a new home for them, find some puzzlers who would appreciate them, who would want to work on them, because they're just sitting here on my shelf, and I really need to make room for different types of puzzles, or just to make some space on my shelves because they are very crowded. So that's what I started working on this weekend. So I'm going to share with you a quick clip so you can see some of the puzzles that I began purging off these shelves. And then when I get back, I'll let you know what I'm planning to do with these puzzles. To begin my puzzling purge, I just basically stood in front of my puzzle shelves and just perused all of the puzzles I had and just pulled out the ones that just didn't bring me joy. Ones that I've passed over, I know which ones those were. And a lot of them were images I were no longer interested in, and some of them were puzzle brands that I'm no longer interested in or don't like this one here, Educa. I love Victoria Francis, but I prefer to do Victoria Francis puzzles with a hay puzzle. And then there's Ravensburger, one of my favorite brands. I have so many of them, and I remember just going to Trays and just trying to pick up as many Ravensburgers as I can. And I picked up this one here, a then and now puzzle. However, I realized soon that I am not very fond of the then and now collection. And then we have White Mountain, one of my favorite brands. I love it because of their large pieces and very sturdy fit. But I start to realize that there's certain images that I do not like. For example, maps. I'm not very fond of doing puzzles with maps, so this one was one that I decided to let go. So in the end, I pulled out several puzzles that I was no longer interested in, and mostly because of the image. I thought at first I would do it because of the image, but I changed my mind, and it's okay to change your mind over time. So then I organized the rest of the puzzles that I was keeping. I rearranged them on the shelves, created more space. Now everything is not crowded and jammed in, and this makes me happy. Having some nice organized shelves with my puzzles, it will make it easy to pull out whatever I need when it's time to sit down and do some puzzling. So there you have it. That was my puzzle purging weekend. I'm really glad that I tackled those puzzles. It's been something that has been there for a while, and I've been, putting it off, and I'm really glad that I did that because now I have more room on my shelves. And I ended up taking a lot longer than I anticipated because you're looking at each puzzle and you're trying to decide whether you like it or not. And sometimes it takes a while. You're debating with yourself whether you should keep it. But I was happy to let them go. And I ended up pulling, or ready to let go, 17 puzzles. That is how much I pulled off this shelf that I no longer wanted. Now, these are nice images. They are pretty images, but they're just not of interest to me anymore. And that's okay, because as puzzlers, we grow, we change. Brands that we used to like, maybe we don't like anymore, or there's so many different puzzle brands now, you just want to try a variety. And I remember back in the pandemic, I would be picking up puzzles, and there always used to be similar brands like the Ravensburger, the White Mountain, the Cobble Hill, the Eurographics. But now that everything's back to normal and you can get puzzles everywhere, there are so many brands out there that I want to try. So I was very content to let those go. So now what do I do with them? So these puzzles are unverified. The puzzles that I pulled off, most of them were from thrifting through trades. I think one or two were gifted to me. So they're unverified. And I don't feel comfortable selling puzzles that are unverified. Granted, you could sit there and say that they are unverified, but I just want to donate them. So I didn't want to donate them back to the thrift store just yet. I wanted to give it back to the puzzling community in my area. So I'm part of a Facebook group in the Greater Toronto area, and I've done a lot of trades from that group. And we have the opportunity, if we want, to offer puzzles for free. And I wanted to do that, to give back to the puzzling community. Now, they're really good groups. Everybody knows the rules. If you post your puzzles, one person is not scooping them all up. Everybody knows that you could take one or two and just give everybody else the opportunity to share. So it's really well organized, and I like that because you don't have one person trying to scoop up as many puzzles. Everybody's very considerate. And I ended up getting a lot of puzzles picked up just this past weekend, at least half of them. So I am delighted and very thankful for those puzzlers who came by and took these puzzles, and now they have a new home, and somebody will be working on them. So that's what I do with puzzles that are unverified. Then I also had, over the last few months, a lot of puzzles that I've completed. They've been sitting in a bin to sell. And this weekend I started to list them on Facebook Marketplace, because that's where I usually sell my puzzles, on Facebook Marketplace or any Facebook groups, puzzling groups that I have in my community. So I ended up posting them. And again, I had several of them that were picked up. So I ended up donating the unverified ones. I ended up putting ones that I've completed up for sale. And then what happens is the ones that don't sell that I've completed can verify the pieces. If they don't sell, then I will pull a few of those puzzles, keep them set aside so that when I do trades, I have puzzles that I can trade. And then the other ones I will just donate. I will donate them either back to a thrift store in my area, or I will try to find a group, a puzzling group that needs them. Well, I'm really happy that I got the spring cleaning done on these puzzles here. My shelves were getting crowded, and now I have more space on my shelves, out with the old, in with the new. And we have seen some new releases starting to show up at our favorite puzzle stores and on Amazon, and it's very tempting. So many nice new images. I just might have to take another trip to Puzzles Canada. So if you haven't already subscribed, you might want to do so to see if I actually make that trip shortly and see what they have available. So thank you for viewing my video. I hope this has given you the motivation and the inspiration to do some spring cleaning on your puzzle pile. If you do, let me know in the comment section, and let me know how many puzzles you managed to purge off your shelf. I appreciate you stopping by my channel. Until next time, happy puzzling.